All right, moving on to an even more unimpressive offense. Las Vegas Raiders are taking on the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins laying 12.5. We talked about this on our Monday early leans or early odds show. I believe this was like 9.5 or 10. We told you to go ahead and lay that then, and this line would move. It has. Wow. Brinson, I think it's just at the line that Brinson, you weren't on Monday, actually.
I went on Monday,
but Harry was. I think Harry had said this. He thought this one would get up to 12.5, and look where it is, right where predicted.
Nice job, Harry.
But you're going to lay these points. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't.
What was the impetus for the line move? I mean, was it like? I mean, I haven't followed.
I think people just betting it. I think it's just people.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's it's a pretty gigantic. It's a pretty gigantic move. If 3 points. I mean, like not because it's not an injury.
We saw it with the Cowboys last week. The Niners have gone up 2 points too. Like people are just hammering these double-digit spreads, which is crazy because the last few weeks there was a lot of really tight spreads, under a field goal. Now we got all these double digits.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's partially just a case of matchups. It's also a case of, and I think you're really seeing it this year more so than ever before in the NFL, where a major separation between the top teams and the bottom teams in the league. Like, and a lot of these bottom teams have lost quarterbacks or are just being run into the ground by Bill Belichick and Frank Reich, or Matt Eberflus. But you get the point. Weird season. Anywho, I'm taking the Dolphins as the best bet, laying the 12.5. Miami is probably getting Devin Achane back.
Oh, right. My fantasy needs it.
So you got to clear up your IR spots in those fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
And
hell yeah, right now.
I don't think that the Raiders can. So here's the other thing too. Tyreek Hill against former division opponents. He's played the Chargers and the Broncos this year. Has 20 catches for 370 yards, I believe, and 3 touchdowns in those 2 games. Went for 215 and 150. Yeah. So he's got 215 against the Chargers, I think, and then 157 against the Broncos. Went bananas. He's going to do the same thing against the Raiders. He hates these teams. He likes to light up these teams. The Raiders aren't going to be able to slow him down. They don't have anybody that can stop Tyreek Hill. And Tua, they're coming off the bye, so they're well rested. Tua got cornrows. Like, did you see this?
Yeah.
It's like wild to see. It's like, what if Tua's it's like Tua's Breaking Bad moment, and all of a sudden he's just gonna like throw up bombs to Tyreek. Achane back again. That's huge. I think the running game gets going, and I don't think the Raiders, the Dolphins defense isn't like elite per se, but I don't think the Raiders can keep pace here, and I think Miami rolls. We've seen them beat up on bad teams. They don't have a win against a team with a winning record, but the Raiders, just 500, think they can take care of business here and win by 2 touchdowns plus.
Tua kind of looks like Drake with the
I think that was the.
Is that? Wow. Okay.
RJ?
Yeah. I mean, it's too many points to lay with the Dolphins, I think, here, but I can't play the Raiders in this spot. Offense 29th in yards per play. O'Connell's not really lighting it up. Can't trust him on the road now for the first time since he became starter, I believe. I'm not completely sure on that, but Vegas defense 28th in yards per rush. Miami can get that lead in the first half and expand it in the second half with Achane and Mostert. So I would expect this to be around this number, maybe even higher. If I'm playing this game, it's going to be Raiders team total under. I am a little worried about a sleepy spot. Miami plays the Friday game next, a little bit of a short week. More worried about it with a lot of these Thursday teams. There are a lot of big favorites that play on Thursday next, and the market is telling them they don't have to take these teams very seriously. So we're going to go through with these games, but I would caution people to play a lot of big favorites this week.
You mean like the Thanksgiving games?
Yeah, so you get San Francisco play Seattle on Thanksgiving, and they're 11.5-point favorites this week. Cowboys are 10.5-point favorites.
Oh, you're saying the big favorites who are playing that Thursday game. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. Cowboys big favorites on the road this week, and they have to worry about a Thanksgiving game next week. Commanders somehow big favorites this week, and they got to worry about the Cowboys next week, and Detroit is in that same spot too. So it's just a lot of these games. It seems like how are they going to not cover this big number? Sleepy spot, a lot of the quick turnaround, dealing with the holidays. So I'm a little worried about this week. I think it could be a weird week.
You're not worried about your Packers? Your precious little Packers going to Detroit?
Right, but the Packers aren't in a spot where they can not take a team serious. They're underdogs at home in that game, so a little bit different.
And they're not that serious in general,
yeah. That's a really good point about the sleepy week. And the Dolphins are at the Jets on Black Friday, so that that's definitely something to watch. I think we'll see a lot of.
I'm back, guys.
You could actually, I think you could look at like over. They might even not use Achane a ton in this game, actually, if they think that they want to try to save him for that Jets matchup. I don't think he's actually activated yet, but I could be wrong.
No, he might only get like 5 carries and only like 200 rushing yards. So a little bit disappointing.
That's
I
right.
was 200.
I mean, the dude is
Still
unbelievable.
play him.